Hey, welcome to the Empowered and Free podcast. My name is Erin Kimbrell, and I'm a counselor, certified life coach, breathwork coach, and small town mom of two. I know firsthand what it feels like to live with high functioning anxiety. For most of my life, I had so much mental mess, anxiety, people pleasing, perfectionism, overthinking, constant worrying, and never feeling good enough. On my decade-long journey to feeling better, I've learned how to take back my life from high-functioning anxiety and helped others to do the same through my coaching and breathwork programs. Now I want to share everything I know with you. This podcast will help you feel empowered over your high-functioning anxiety and free to finally live the life of your dreams. Now, grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and dive into the episode. I'm Erin Kimbrell, and this is the Empowered and Free podcast. Hey, friend, welcome back to the Empowered and Free podcast. It has been a minute, and I'm so glad to be back. Today's episode is perfectly timed for this holiday season that we are entering. Why is it here so fast? Today's episode is really for my busy women, my working moms, my high achievers. I am in all of those groups, and it's really for the ones who hold together everything for everyone during the holidays. But you're inside secretly thinking, why are the holidays so stressful for me? But everybody else seems to be good. Or why does everybody rely on me? Why does everything have to come through me and everything is done by me? And why do I manage and carry the entire mental load for the holidays? And then, really, deep down, the big question you're wondering, and the big thing that I struggled with for so long is how do I actually enjoy this holiday season when I'm doing everything? Like, can I have a minute where I am actually happy, where I am having a good time? So, if that sounds like you, take a deep breath. You are in the right place, okay? You are not imagining that it's a really hard time. It really is. And it doesn't mean that anything's wrong with you, that you're dramatic, that you're weak, that you're failing at holidays. It is a super overwhelming time for a lot of us, but especially for the women who are already juggling things like work, relationships, kids and family, expectations, running a household. Like that's your normal day that's already capped out at like 110%. And then we add the holidays to it. And it's just like fuel to the fire. The workload feels like it just triples. So today we're going to talk about why you feel so overwhelmed, and hopefully I bring some light to what you're feeling even if you haven't had the time to figure out, like, yeah, that really is why I'm feeling that way. And I want to help you feel validated in that. I also want to talk about why you feel responsible for everybody, for their happiness, for their calendars, for their to-do list. We're going to talk a little bit about what holiday burnout feels like and looks like in real life. And of course, I'm going to share with you some ways to feel less overwhelmed during the holiday season so that you can actually enjoy it without like coming out on the other side feeling like you just like ran a marathon without training for it, right? Like, I want you to actually have a good time this holiday season, and it is possible, okay? And then at the very end of the episode, I am going to share with you something that I created, brand new resources, things I've never shared before to help you feel less overwhelmed this holiday season so that you can actually have a good time, okay? I want you to start to feel like yourself, and then come January, you're going to be like, wow, that actually was the best time I've had in a holiday. Because again, that is possible. So I just want to take you back a few years ago, Aaron, who was drowning in everything that I'm going to share with you today, but especially in overwhelm. Like when it would start to kind of creep up, October rolls around. I feel like Halloween even kind of like kicks off the beginning of the holiday season to an extent because you just know what's coming after that. And I just would dread it. Like my stomach would kind of be in knots. I would immediately feel some anxiety. Like my chest would kind of feel heavy because I knew what was coming. I knew the freaking monsoon that was heading my way, which was the holiday season. And here's the kicker is the holidays are marketed like they're a magical time and they're so cozy and nostalgic and you can do all the traditions and that's wonderful. But for the busy women and the working moms, they're just a lot more freaking work, more pressure, more expectations, more mental and emotional labor. And it's just not that beautiful, wonderful time that you see on the ads and on the magazine covers. And those things are great, but you don't see the work that's like behind that thing, right? So let's just think about a normal week, pre-holiday season, okay? You're already carrying the mental load of everybody. You're remembering all the appointments, you're planning out all the meals, you're managing the scheduling, you're keeping track of the kids and the husband and the whoever, and running your house and handling everyone's needs and thinking 10 steps ahead for everyone, including yourself. And that's not even talking about work. That is literally just your home and your family. Okay. And then in work life, it's like a whole other set of expectations and to-do list and pressure. And then the holidays roll around, and now you're responsible for everything else, like 100 other things: gifts, decorating, hosting, events, travel, school things. They always have like 20 dress up things during the holidays or school parties, and you got to send this in, and you got to worry about the outfits for pictures and for the holidays and the events and the grocery list and the cards and managing everybody's emotions and creating the magic. Like, wow. The holiday mental load is unpaid invisible labor. We're doing more for less money, right? Um, and it lands disproportionately on women. Like, let's just keep it real, okay? So if you've ever wondered why are the holidays so stressful for me and not for everybody else, it's because you're doing the work that no one else is doing. They're not doing it and they don't see it. So what I really wanted to talk you through in this episode, again, I want you to feel validated in how you feel and know that it's not just you and you're not the only one feeling like this and you're not making it up. But I want to help you have some insight as to why you're feeling overwhelmed so then we can lighten that load. Okay. Because for me, the woman who years ago was dreading the holiday season, feeling so weighed down, so overwhelmed, I was like frozen and like, what do I do? This is too much. Like, kind of that constant anxiety during the holiday season with the weight on my chest. To go from that to how I feel now, which, let's keep it real again, is not a perfect holiday season, but it's a heck of a lot lighter. I have way less on my plate. I have like a manageable amount. It's not that I'm not doing anything, but it's manageable. I actually do enjoy the holidays with my kids. We have simple traditions, and we'll get into all this, like things that you can actually do on a practical level to help you. But it was because I took the time to figure out why I was feeling overwhelmed and then lighten that load for myself. So we're going to talk today about 3 words that kind of all boils down to, I'm all about like, let's get to the root cause of it. Okay. Why are you feeling overwhelmed? We're going to talk about the 3 words there that are causing those overwhelm and then how to make it feel a little bit easier on yourself. Okay. Let's get into it. So the first word is the pressure. You are in a pressure cooker in the holiday season. You feel like you have to get it all right. You have to get the perfect gifts. You have to look perfect. Your house has to be perfect. You have to look like you're having a great time. Okay. And so this really comes down to feeling responsible for creating this perfect holiday experience. And this is because you take the lead on everything. You take the lead on planning everything, on scheduling, on organizing, on cooking, on decorating, gifting, and hosting. And you're thinking, if I don't do it, it won't get done right. Mm, Another perfectionist just felt that like hit. Yeah. If I don't do it, who else is going to do it? It's not going to be done right. Okay. And again, I understand because I felt that way for a long, long time. So if that's you, just want you to feel validated in that and remind you there's relief. It doesn't have to be like this. Okay. You might also be feeling this pressure because you're overthinking everything. You kind of get into the perfectionism we just talked about, but also paralysis of like frozen in so much overthinking that and over analyzing that you're not doing anything. Okay. And overwhelm can cause that paralysis too. So you're thinking about choosing the perfect gift for everyone. Like, really, what would be so thoughtful? What would they love? What would just make their eyes light up? Right? You're overthinking how much money you're spending, right? And a lot of times being pushed to spend more than you planned. You're overthinking if somebody's going to like it, kind of worrying about if they'll like it and how am I going to wrap it and how am I going to present it, and all of these very like simple things feel really heavy. And that's where the overwhelm comes in because all these small things feel like big things. Okay. So the overthinking comes into play. Then you have, I just mentioned a little bit of like financial pressure to make the holidays special, to make them these like great, wonderful times. And a lot of times we do that by overspending. We overspend on the gifts and the experiences and the food and the travel and your kids because you're worried about disappointing other people or feeling less than, like feeling like it's not enough what you've given or what you've done or the effort you've put in. And so that financial pressure can definitely weigh on everybody during the holiday season. Then you have the pressure to make up for the whole year, or just like let's end the year at this great time where we all have these special holiday memories, and this is a way to compensate for feeling like, yeah, I've been maybe a little more absent. I haven't shown up for people in the way that I wanted to during the year, or I've been really busy and I haven't had the time to like give to people, and I'm feeling really burnout, and so I just have not been able to give the effort because I'm so burnt out. So this is a way of like compensating emotionally by trying to make up for the year. And then the last way you feel pressure is, ooh, the pressure to feel like you're actually enjoying it, to make yourself look happy. And this is so fun. I'm in this pretty outfit and my house looks great. And look at all these things I've done and these traditions. And we bake these cookies. And man, like even when you're just completely overwhelmed, when you feel like you're drowning, when you're drained and exhausted, you put on that smile, right? You make the small talk. You pretend like you're fine. And this is because we don't want to be seen as the downer. We want to look like we're having a good time, even if we're not. Even if all we really want is to go take a nap and sleep for like 2 days and have nobody bother us. Okay. So there's a lot of pressure at this time. And again, we're going to talk in just a minute about how to lighten some of that pressure. Okay. I want to give you some strategies that have helped. Okay. So that's the first word, is the pressure that you feel. The second word that comes to mind when we really look at the root of the overwhelm you're feeling is expectations. Okay, what kind of expectations are you putting on yourself? Okay, you're probably feeling like I got to do all the things. I can't say no. I don't have time to rest. Okay, so let's talk about these a little bit more in depth. So you're taking on more than your share of the load. Okay, even if you're working full time, and even stay-at-home moms, in my opinion, are working full time, probably even more because they're around the clock job, right? So all of us are working, and we're also still somehow in charge of everything else. The food, the gifts, managing the calendar, coordinating the travel, cleaning the house. And this is that invisible load or mental load that people don't see because you're just carrying it in your head. Like 100 tabs are open all the time, and it feels super real. Okay, so you're just taking on more than your fair share of the load. Okay. And you also have a really hard time saying no to stuff. You have a hard time saying no to invitations and requests and traditions. So you feel bad if you have to decline like a party invitation. Or like I said, your kids, I feel like they always have stuff going on at the school and you're like, I can't send in, this and that, or I can't show up to a holiday party or whatever it is. You feel really bad, really bad. This guilt trips you, are family traditions when you're like, yeah, I just can't. Like you feel like I can't even say no, that I can't, because now it's a tradition. Like this is something we do every year. You say no to volunteering your time in different ways. Like I said, especially for like events, you're always the person that's like, yeah, I'll help out with that. Sure, I can bring that. Sure, I can cook that. Okay. And we have a hard time telling people, no, I can't actually do that. And feeling fear that we're going to disappoint people or let people down. You have a hard time saying no to travel, right? Like, especially if you have family across like not local and you're traveling to get to them, it's really hard to say no during this time of the year that family is really important. I can't make that trip out to come see you. And you have a hard time saying no to all these gift exchanges. I feel like everyone wants to like give a gift, which is another topic for another day. And I won't get into that today, but what happens when we have trouble saying no is that you overschedule yourself and you very quickly burn out, which is super common during the holiday season. Okay. Another thing that's not really talked about is feeling this pull between work responsibilities and family responsibilities. So work doesn't stop. during the holidays, right? It just keeps on trucking, keeps on going. And your family has now kicked into high gear, like I said, for the holiday, everything you have to do for the holidays. And so you're trying to be fully present in both places, present with your family and staying super productive at work. And it's hard to mentally be in two places at one time. Okay. Let's just say that it is extremely hard. I would say it's actually impossible to be in two places at once. And this is what is happening in our mind, even if we're not aware that we're doing this thing. Okay. So you're hanging out with your kids and you're thinking about work. That is something that a lot of us struggle with. Then you feel overwhelmed from schedule shifts and just completely disrupted routines, right? Your nervous system is on the struggle bus because, like I said, with travel, with guests in your house, with different sleep patterns, with unpredictable schedules, you are extremely dysregulated and your stress level is through the roof. So that in itself can cause overwhelm within your body because your body is like, what the heck is happening? This is not our normal. Okay. Um, then you have the after effect, I guess, of that, the result of that, which is just exhaustion, like the physical exhaustion from doing all the things, the mental exhaustion from keeping up with all the things, and then the emotional exhaustion from just socializing all the time, from, like I said earlier, trying to look happy, from pushing yourself to overstimulation from like back to back events, which again lead to burnout, but you push through and you keep going because you're like, yeah, I should do this. I have to do this. Like, this isn't even a choice. But hey, friend, it is a choice. It is a choice. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. And then with that, another reason that the expectations feel higher is that you have less time to rest, right? There's almost no time to recharge, to decompress, to take a break. And even if there is time, your brain doesn't let you do it, right? You feel guilty for not doing more. Let me add in this one last thing. Let's do this craft. Let's bake this cookie. Let's do this activity, right? And even if you're not doing anything, let's say you take 2 seconds to sit down and take a break. You feel bad. You feel guilty because you're not up cleaning and preparing and shopping and working ahead and being productive, and resting feels really uncomfortable. So I want to just all that to say, these are expectations that you're putting on yourself. And I'm not blaming you. I don't want you to feel bad about this. Again, I was in the same boat, but you're the one placing those expectations on your own plate. And I say that as a super kind friend who's just like here to help and give you some time to reflect of like, do you want that on your plate? Because I, for one, did not. And I had to find some ways to kind of set some boundaries and step out of that, which we'll talk about in just a minute. So that's the second word. So we've talked about the pressure, we've talked about the expectations. And the third and last word we're going to talk about, really it's a phrase, is the mental load. And we've hit on this a couple of times already in some things we talked about, but it also comes with the emotional load. So not only are you remembering and managing everything, like we talked about with the mental load, but you're also the emotional manager of your household. Okay. You're managing everyone's emotions, not just your own. You're trying to keep yourself from having a breakdown, right? But you're also doing the same thing for your kids, for your spouse, for your extended family. Like you're mediating things between family and you're keeping the peace at these gatherings and just making sure everybody feels like included and happy and anticipating other people's needs. And this is back to what we talked about, that invisible labor. It's exhausting because you're the one doing it. Nobody else is worried about that thing, right? You're the one worried about that thing. You're navigating your family dynamics and trying to stop the emotional triggers that happen. Okay. So, as you might be feeling triggered yourself because you're seeing maybe your own family, which triggers some old roles and responsibilities and possibly activates like some people pleasing tendencies, or perfectionist tendencies because you're worried about like being criticized or what somebody's going to say. But you're also trying to manage that for other people. Again, especially our kids. I feel like we're always like looking out for our kids and even your husband. So you feel really responsible for making other people happy, for keeping the peace, for making sure nobody feels left out or smoothing over any conflict, and just making sure everybody has a good time, right? Like everybody else can relax and they can be happy, but you can't because you're the one doing the work behind the scenes. And again, you're going, if I don't do it, who does it? Okay. And this is why we feel so burnt out, why we're irritable and we're snappy. And like I said, you feel that pressure in your chest, or you can't sleep well, or you find yourself crying in the bathroom, like speaking from experience. um, you have 1,000 tabs open in your brain and no time to rest. And you have that layer of resentment in there mixed with some guilt. Let's not forget the guilt just for good times, right? Like, and I'm being very sarcastic, obviously, because neither one of those things feel good. Okay. But you're overwhelmed because you've just been conditioned to give and serve to others before yourself. So you're constantly kind of emotionally putting your needs on the back burner, which leads to you feeling really alone, even when you're surrounded by other people. You're busy like performing and doing all these things and filling these roles, but you're not really connecting authentically. Like, are you able to sit down and have that deep conversation with the person that maybe you want to have that conversation with? Or are you prioritizing caretaking over just having that time with somebody? Okay. And again, I don't want you to feel bad. This is not like, oh, these are the things you're doing wrong, because none of us need more guilt during the holidays. But this is just really about taking a step back, reflecting, and choosing a different way for this holiday, because you can do that. Okay. A lot of us also have our own layer of emotional struggles during the holiday, like you're processing grief. Maybe you've experienced death or distance from family and friends. Maybe you have gone through a divorce. Like the grief that you can have, and then going into the holiday season and pretending that everything's good, even when things feel like they're missing, things feel like they're different. Traditions have been totally shaken up, but that you don't feel like there's time. There's not really time to like feel it, so I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to push it to the back burner because I've got a million things to do instead. But let's be real, you can be processing those really hard and heavy feelings. And then the last like emotional struggle that really hits hard is feeling disconnected from the moment. Like your brain is just always thinking about the next thing, the next task, the next event. Are other people okay? What else needs to be done? And you're not present. You're definitely not having a good time because you're not even mentally, emotionally there. Physically, you're there, right? But your mind is somewhere else and you're not really present in that moment. You don't know how to ask for help. You don't know how to help yourself feel better. You just feel burdened by all of these things. And you're like, but I got to keep going. Okay. So this is where that overwhelm comes from. You don't want to show other people what you're struggling with, and you want to pretend that you're good, and you're really drowning. So I understand the feeling of, and again, I'm speaking like straight from my heart on this, wanting someone else to help you for once, wanting someone else to come in and be like, hey, I got it. No, you don't have to do this. No, please, like, take a break. Have some time to yourself. That would have been the best gift that somebody could have given me. And yet at the same time, they didn't really know. Like, to be fair, they didn't know how I was feeling because I didn't tell them. Because, like I said, I was wearing that smile on my face. So, I hope that me sharing this again, just kind of straight from the heart, struggles that I've experienced, struggles that I know that you're having too, helps you feel validated in that. To know that nothing is wrong with you. You're not doing the holidays wrong. It's just that you've been conditioned to do these things. And with that, we can always change conditioning, right? So now that we've talked about the pressure you feel, managing your expectations, the emotional and mental load, these three things being the things that cause overwhelm, let's flip it. Let's go, okay, now we know. Now I know what I'm dealing with and why I'm feeling this way. And what do I do about it? How can I not feel this way? So there are really two ways to help yourself feel less overwhelmed, not only in this holiday season, although that is the focus of this time, but really for life, okay? And this is speaking from someone that has felt overwhelmed all the time. As a highly sensitive person, I really struggle with feeling overwhelmed. Um, and so here's what we can do about it. You can prevent the overwhelm, or you can regulate through it. And I would really not even say or, I would say and. Okay. Prevent the overwhelm and regulate through it. So let's first start by what do I mean by regulating through the overwhelm? You can learn how to calm down your body, your nervous system in the moment of overwhelm. As like I just mentioned, somebody who is very sensitive, I had to notice when I was feeling this way, be able to pinpoint, is this overwhelm? Is this stress? Is this anxiety? What feeling is this? And I quickly could tell kind of what overwhelm felt like for me. And then I learned how to make myself feel better. So, practicing quick nervous system regulation tools that give my body a reset when I need it. I always kind of go back to this memory of being in Home Depot. And I think I was looking at like paint samples and flooring and just like trying to prepare the house before people came, right? And like just felt so emotionally and mentally flooded that I almost felt on the verge of a panic attack. I got really hot, my chest got really heavy, felt like I couldn't take a deep breath. And I was like, I gotta get out of here, you know? So I went to the car. I hadn't bought anything, I just left, went to the car, sat there. My body was vibrating and my eyes were kind of, I shut my eyes were kind of fluttering, like twitching almost, like would not stop. And I just took some deep breaths, kind of in through the nose, out through the mouth. This is as I was learning all these things. Um, and I was like, wow, how long have I felt like that? AKA my whole life, right? Spoiler alert. How long have I felt like that and didn't know what to do to help myself feel better? Okay. So that's what I mean when I say nervous system regulation tools, tools that help you and your body reset. And these are not complicated. These are so easy. But what they do is they interrupt that stress cycle that you get stuck in. Okay. And they help you break out of it. They help your body calm down. They're usually quick tools that are really portable. These are tools that I do anywhere, everywhere. I joke about doing them in the bathroom, but it's not a joke, it's real. Wherever I need to, the bathroom is my escape. When I've just had too much, when I'm overstimulated, when I'm peopled out, like when I just need a minute. And these tools are really effective. They really do freaking work. Okay. So, what you need is to be able to have a toolbox of these tools. And another spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you about that in just a minute because I've created this for you. It is literally click and play. It is so easy. Okay. So, that is what I mean by regulating through it, being able to calm your body down in the moment with nervous system regulation tools. Okay, so that's one part of it. But the truth is, overwhelm is a cycle. Okay, and so it needs more than just these little like one off resets. They are super helpful in the moment, and we got to prevent the overwhelm from happening in the first place. Okay, so here's what I mean by that. And I know this is going to sound like I am just like throwing a lot at you, but I'm going to break it down and I'll tell you about that. Okay? So here are some things that you can do to prevent the overwhelm from happening in the first place. Let's start about the pressure. We talked about the pressure that you feel. You have to release the pressure to do it all. Period. You are not superhuman. Okay? I know you want to be. And I know we give that compliment to everybody like, "Oh, you're a superwoman. You do everything." And it doesn't feel good to be the person that's doing everything. Okay. So you have to release the pressure to do it all. Let that kind of spout on the pressure cooker go. Let all the steam out and feel the relief. Okay. So you can take things off your plate. You don't have to do it all. So that's one thing I help you do, and I'll explain that in just a minute through the resources that I created for you. Okay. Now we can talk about expectations. You can drop the expectation that you have to be the martyr, that you have to be the one that is just constantly like loading more and more on your back while putting your needs to the back burner. No, you don't have to do that. Okay. And again, I'm telling you as somebody who has said, I'm not doing that anymore, which was really freaking hard for me as a people pleaser to go, I'm not doing that. I'm not. I was always the one that put myself on the back burner. And I finally learned how to set boundaries, how to say no, how to risk disappointing people to take care of myself. And that's what I want to teach you, like with so much passion. I'm like, it doesn't have to be this way. Okay. You are the one putting the expectations on yourself. And maybe others are too for keeping it real, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can say no and set those boundaries. And I would love to help you. And then lastly, we'll talk about the mental load. You're doing too much, friend. Okay. You can delegate those things on your list. You can release them, let them go into The Never Never Land, where no one does them, or give them to someone else or something else. There's so many services that we can do. There's technology that can support you, and there's absolutely people in your life that can do more than they're doing now. Okay. So find a way to share the load. It is possible. Again, another thing I love to talk about because it is something that has made such a huge difference in my own life. So here's the good news. If you're like, Erin, cool, that sounds great. That sounds lovely, actually, but how do I do that? Like, I would love to get in that space. So what I want to tell you is that is exactly what I want to teach you. There is nothing more that I want to teach you this holiday season than these things. But you really need a simple system because you're overwhelmed. I'm not trying to give you 50 things to do because you don't have time. Let's be real. But you can have a simple system that helps you calm down, that helps you reset, like we talked about, and then that helps you prevent that burnout that you're feeling. And you can do all this in a few minutes. So, this leads me to something brand new that I've created that I'm so excited to share with you, and it is called the Beat Holiday Overwhelm Bundle. So, if you've been nodding through this episode, like, yep, that's me. That's my brain, that's my life, then this is for you. Okay. The Beat Holiday Overwhelm Bundle is a quick way for you to get support. It is a three-part system. Not all of it has to be used right now. Okay. These things can serve you much more in the future, but I'm going to talk you through what is inside and how each piece is going to help you. So, the first tool that you get, there are three tools, like I said, three-part support system in this bundle. Okay. The first tool is my Overcome Overwhelm in 10 minutes. And this is your fast reset in the moment. You heard me say 10 minutes. And I really mean that because this is something that I created as somebody who, like I said, struggles with overwhelm all the time. So I created what's called my Overcome Overwhelm Blueprint. And it's a simple step-by-step process that you use when you're melting down, when you're overstimulated, or when you're mentally overloaded. Like, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what to do. How can I clear my mind? That's exactly what it helps you do. It takes that mental chaos that you're feeling and turns it into clarity. So instead of spiraling in the moment, instead of freezing and not doing anything, because I've been there too, or instead of just trying to push through the overwhelm, this tool, the Overcome Overwhelm Blueprint, walks you through my gentle three-step process that gives you that calm, that gives you that sense of direction and clarity on what to do. So you learn how to stop feeling overwhelmed in just 10 minutes and you can think clearly again and you get to prioritize what's important and let go of the rest. So this is like a client favorite. I was just talking to someone last weekend and she was like, yeah, I still use this. And I taught her this years ago. So it is just really cool that I get to share this with you. Again, this is not just for the holidays. I use this anytime, but this is something that I was like, to help with overwhelm, I got to give you this tool. So it's in the bundle. That's called Overcome Overwhelm in 10 minutes. Okay. The second part of the bundle and the trio is the Overwhelm SOS Toolkit. So earlier I was talking to you about nervous system resets. Like I said, that you need tools. You need tools in your toolkit that can calm down your mind and your body when life just feels crazy, when you're in Home Depot like I was, and you're like, what do I do to feel better? I can't feel like this. This is your toolbox. So you've got grounding tools and breathwork tools, nervous system regulation tools, sensory overwhelm tools, and you're overstimulated. And when you're feeling emotionally flooded, like I was too. So these are tools that you just go in, they are plug and play. You click on them and you can listen, you can print it out, you can keep it on your phone, you can use these anywhere, anytime. In the car, like I was after Home Depot, in the bathroom, in your kitchen, your office, wherever you feel that stress start to spike and that overwhelm flooding in, you grab this SOS toolkit and you use it. Okay, so again, this is for more than just the holidays, but I wanted you to be able to have this during the holidays to help with those meltdown moments. Okay, so that's the second piece. And the third piece of this trio, this three-part support system, is the Holiday Overwhelm Survival Guide. So this is specifically for the holidays. This is what I wish I had when I was really struggling, because this thing will help you create exactly the holiday you want to have. Okay, now, in I keep it real with you. This is only available inside the bundle and only open during this holiday season. After that, you won't find it anymore. Okay, this guide will disappear. But it helps you prevent the burnout before it hits. So if you're looking for some of that prevention, this is a really good place to start. And it's not too late. Okay, if you start even now during the holiday season and you use one or two of the toolkits inside of the guide, you're going to go, wow, this actually really did help me. Okay, so it helps you simplify your holiday mental load, which is huge. It helps you reduce the emotional labor that you're feeling because you don't have to be in charge of everybody. Oh, my favorite part is it helps you set boundaries without feeling guilty. So I give you exact scripts to say when you're having a hard time, when you need to say no, or you need to say, I really can't do that. Like I really don't have the space to do that. I teach you a kind, nice way to be able to set that boundary and not even feel guilty about it. It helps you create rhythms and traditions that will feel calmer, that feel more intentional, that feel like, yeah, I really want to do this, not I have to do this. I feel like I have to do this. I'm going to feel bad if I don't do this. And the big part of the guide is that it helps you enjoy the holiday season without doing everything yourself. Because the keeping it real, of course, the truth is if you do everything yourself, your holiday is not going to feel any better. Okay? So the Holiday Overwhelm Survival Guide is here to make your holidays easier, lighter, and more peaceful. Like it could be that way if you choose to use this to help you. So that was 3 separate tools. The Overcome Overwhelm in 10 minutes. That's your blueprint. Okay, your fast reset tool. The Overwhelm SOS Toolkit, which is your toolkit, your plug and play. When you're in the Home Depot, you click on there and you can do breathwork sessions or use a grounding tool or nervous system regulation. And then the third tool is your Holiday Overwhelm Survival Guide. This is specific for creating the holiday that actually feels good to you. Okay, so with that said, when I sell all of these separately, because they will be available separately outside of this Black Friday season, okay, the value and what they will cost is $123. But and let me mention, remember the Holiday Overwhelm Survival Guide will not be available after the holiday season. It goes away, it doesn't come back. But from now until Cyber Monday, you can grab the whole entire bundle for just 27 bucks. Just 27 bucks. That is what one of these tools will be worth alone. Now, I'll also say if you're listening after Cyber Monday, you can still get it. It will increase to $47. And then, like I said, once the holidays are over, the bundle's gone. They will be sold separately, so I don't want you to think like all hope is lost. You can still get them, but right now you can get all 3 together for 27 bucks, which is an incredible deal. It's like 78% off. Okay. So friend, if you're tired of doing it all, if you're tired of holding it all together, if you're tired of being the default magic maker, you deserve support, right? You deserve tools that can help you reset and breathe and feel like yourself again. And you can also have a holiday that you actually enjoy. And that's why I created this Beat Holiday Overwhelm bundle. It is here to make your holidays lighter and calmer and happy, right? Actually enjoyable. So make sure you grab it now for only 27 bucks before the price jumps up on Cyber Monday. That is 12/1, December 1st. Okay. After that, it's 47 bucks, so you can still get it. Okay. And then once the holiday season ends, again, the bundle is gone. So you guys know I just always like to be transparent with you about what is coming so that you know what to expect. But you are allowed to enjoy this holiday season. You really can. Again, speaking as somebody who actually does now, who like looks forward to it for all the good things that it is, not all the stress that it brings. Okay. You're also allowed to ask for help. And you're allowed to stop carrying the whole mental load for everybody else. Okay. So I hope this bundle gives you the calm that you've been craving in this holiday season. Happy holidays, my friend. I'm so excited for the next few episodes as we really get into some other things that can support you in this holiday season. And just remember, you don't have to do it all alone. I'm here for you and I would love to help. Okay. Thanks for listening today. And I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, guys. Hey, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. You don't know how much it means to me. If you'd like more behind the scenes content, inspiration, and daily reminders that encourage and uplift you, follow me on Instagram at HeyErinKimbrel and send me a DM to say hey. If any of the episodes have been super helpful for you, please consider leaving me a review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you like to listen. It helps me so incredibly much. and it allows the podcast to be seen by other people who need it. If you want to learn more from me, head to erinkimbrel.com. That's where you'll find all my free resources, read the podcast show notes, and learn more information about my online coaching and breathwork programs that help you create the life you want. I'm here for you, and I'm always cheering you on. I'll see you next time. I'm Erin Kimbrel, and this is the Empowered and Free podcast.